Welcome to Warfighter Advance, Coming Home at Last, a podcast by and for veterans. Warfighter Advance is an organization whose mission is the successful reintegration of every warfighter. Hi, I'm Michael Arndt, a Vietnam combat veteran and a member of the board of directors for Warfighter Advance. Welcome to the Warfighter Advance podcast, Coming Home at Last. Joining me today is Tony Zavala. Tony is an alumnus of the program and has been a mentor in the program for many years. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you.
To begin with, Tony, talk a little bit about your unique military background.
My military background started in the French Foreign Legion many years ago. After finished 5 years of service there, I came back to the United States and I joined the American military and retired as a Master Sergeant of the Army.
And what in your military experience led you to Warfighter Advance?
I believe as a combat retired veteran from the Foreign Legion, serving 3 years in Africa in Operation Perseverance, and then going to Enduring Freedom in 2003 to 2005 in Iraq, contribute to eventually coming to Warfighters.
How did you hear about Warfighter Advance?
It was recommended by a colleague after him attending the program.
What particular issues did you have as a result of your military service that led you again to come to an evolution at Warfighter?
I believe that as combat veterans, we come back to civilian society and we don't fit in. And when we reach for help, they tell us that we are broken. And what they fix that with is medication. And obviously one medication takes another to another. And I was in a cocktail of many medications where I became isolated. I became not functional person, which I didn't believe that was my personality since I've been serving for almost 25 years. So it was very contrary directions in my life, telling me that I'm broken, but at the same time knowing myself that I wasn't. And Warfighter helped me to regain that strength again.
What was it like attending your first evolution?
Warfighters, to me, was something I didn't know nothing about, because if you look at the publications, it was nothing back then, at least, that tells you what we were going to do. It was a little bit of close eyes and trust the progress. Eventually, they teach you that we are still who we were before, that we have never left being as soldiers, being capable to change, adjust, and move on. And that was the thing that I got back. And eventually, leaving the medication, because the medication was not doing anything, because we cannot hide our feelings, our abilities to survive with medication. We're still highly trained, highly prepared, and highly motivated to move on.
And because of your experience and what happened to you at Warfighter, you returned to Warfighter as a mentor. What has that experience been like?
I believe that every time I come back as a mentor, and I've been doing this for almost 7 years or more, obviously I pass the flag to the new generations, but at the same time, I recharge my batteries and remember how it was before for me. And it's an amazing feeling to give and take, because when I go home, I also go back home recharged.
So what does a mentor do?
A mentor is somebody to listen to the people who are here, guide them towards the program. We don't tell them what to do. We don't enforce anything, but we are here for them. For example, we do some exercise. We motivate them. We tell them who we are and how we was our problems. And when we show them who we were and how we are now, they also encourage to change themselves.
If you had to make a recommendation for someone who might be watching or listening to this podcast and is struggling with issues of reintegration, what would you say?
I would say try the program, trust the program. You will not be disappointed. This program saved my life, have saved many lives that I know, many friends here, many colleagues, and they have changed their life around, and now many of them are mentors. And I think this is a great program that doesn't cost anything, and the worst that can happen, you learn something. but you will find a lot of friends. But I think this will be your reintegration to society.
Well, you've got a great reputation as a mentor here in Warfighter. So thank you for talking to us today.
It's always a
and
pleasure.
Thank you for your service to
Mike, thank you.
Warfighter Advance.
Thank you. My pleasure, Mike. Anytime.
Welcome to another Minute with a Mentor as part of the Warfighter Advance podcast, Coming Home at Last. Joining me today is Mike Dalgetty.
Good morning.
Morning. Mike is a medical doctor, and he comes to Warfighter both as a Navy veteran, but also as someone who lectures and talks about acupuncture. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about your military background and then also your professional experience.
Okay. So for any of the HUA guys out there, I grew up right around Fort Leonard Wood. So after high school, I went to the Naval Academy and graduated in 1986. Started my career as a naval aviator. I flew the A-6 Intruder off of the Teddy Roosevelt and continued flying up to 93, participated in the first Desert Storm. And then after that, it seemed that things were changing in naval aviation, so I decided I would try to get into medical school. I was fortunately able to get accepted. I graduated in 1997 from the Uniformed Services University up in Bethesda. Did internships at Bethesda. I was a flight surgeon in Fallon, Nevada, with Top Gun and NSOC for a couple of years. Did my family practice residency in Pensacola. Graduated from that in 2004. Orders to Patuxent River as a clinic doctor. Out of Patuxent River, I did 1 year as the senior medical officer in Diego Garcia. And I also did a year in Kandahar, working at the trauma hospital. I retired in 2018, and then have been doing civilian medicine since then. Towards middle of, around 2010, 11, I'd been interested in doing the acupuncture, and the reason that interested me was that it was simple. It didn't require any testing per se, and there really weren't any concerns for side effects like medications. And so I took a course that's only for physicians, and I graduated in, I don't remember, 2016 or 17, received my certification as a medical acupuncturist. And so it was about 2 years of 2-week courses, 1 to 2 week courses scattered throughout those 2 years with a bunch of tests and, academics and all that type of stuff, and then a lot of studying in between the courses.
So how did you hear about Warfighter Advance?
There's some character running around, Mary Veaton. I don't know if you guys have heard of her or not, but she and I actually worked together in Patuxent River. And so she was a psychologist down there. And so once she started Warfighter, she'd been referring patients to me for acupuncture, throughout our time together. And so she just asked me to come and do this here.
When you come to Warfighter now, and you come every evolution, and what kinds of things do you share with the warfighters at the Evo?
So what I like to do is for people that haven't heard or experienced any acupuncture, we just talk about kind of the basics. It can get very complicated, but we keep it simple, and then we talk about the different things that can be treated, all kinds of pain treatments, all kinds of approaches, whether we're going to do points on the body or points in the ears, and then we do demonstrations with volunteers.
What kinds of advantages or what kinds of treatments, I guess, help the warfighters as they come here?
So I tend to see a lot of people here that have some shoulder pain, back pain, neck pain, kind of the common problems that we see as we get old. So we'll do treatments using the ear that will kind of minimize the pain in that area. Then there's some folks that just kind of have a lot of things going on, maybe difficulty sleeping, relaxing, and I always try to do one more extensive treatment on that person using several body points to try to just see if that kind of clears things up a little bit. It also helps, some short treatments can help with just, basically getting to sleep at night if your brain's running real strong and real strong and heavy.
If you were to say something to people who might be struggling with various issues and watching or listening to this podcast, what would you say about acupuncture as a way of helping the warfighter out there?
I would absolutely give it a shot. The advantages is that there's little to no risk. There certainly aren't any side effects. And if the treatments work and you can get several treatments, then a lot of times it will help just improve your outlook, reduce some pain, and kind of get you back, up on your feet again.
Well, thank you for sharing this information with us, and thank you for your service to Warfighter Advance, Mike.
Well, thank you, Mike, and thanks for what you do, too.
You're welcome. This has been another episode of A Mindful Minute with a Mentor as part of the Warfighter Advance podcast, Coming Home at Last. Thank you for joining us for the Warfighter Advance Coming Home at Last podcast. Warfighter Advance envisions a world where warfighters are fully restored through a non-medical process. To achieve that vision, Warfighter Advance sponsors 6 7-day training sessions each year to which veterans and active duty service members can apply, and for no cost to the warfighter. If you or those you know are struggling with issues related to reintegration, please contact us through our website. We are dedicated to lead the way so that every warfighter has the information, tools, and support they need to successfully reintegrate. Until next time, this is Michael Arndt on behalf of Warfighter Advance.